and welcome to D&D with High School Students presents the Medusas. We are here. We're live. We had some technical difficulties. And by technical difficulties, I mean a couple people were sleeping. But it's good to be here with everybody. A couple quick shout outs before we get back into the game. Thank you to Ann Adams, my patron, who sent a couple gaming headsets for Virginia and Andria to utilize in the game. Very, very grateful for that improved audio quality. Thank you, in fact, to all of my patrons. Many of you guys are tuned in right now. I see MyB, DoD Spec Ops, Erik Stearns, Tricky Troy, Kanoko. Wow, Mage Credio, a good minute since you've been on. But all of you guys that are watching, thank you so much for tuning in. So, Medusas actually made it to a pretty good stopping point by making the first leg of their trek through the Verge and into the southeast corner of the Vast, which is a expansive mountain range. And having arrived at the plateau where both Jordan and DJ's characters are from, this Goliath tribe's fall encampment is basically on a nice soft sloping valley plateau kind of area with a lot of little natural creeks and streams that are fed from the snow melt. Fertile land, plenty of game to hunt, and you guys were able to make it to that point, and make it pretty happily. Now, I was going to do this off camera, but I decided that it might be more exciting to even do it on a live stream. So guess what? You've all gained a level. Yay!
That's cool.
Now, here's what I'm going to suggest. You are level 7. And if you are going up in your single class level, I will trust you to make those adjustments while we're playing. But having had the opportunity to have a long rest, all of you are feeling rested, recuperated, well fed. You've gained back all of your hit points and your spells. After the night of revelry, you guys might remember there was like a huge feast and like drums and dancing and music and drinking. And, you know, after that huge night of revelry, all of you kind of turned in an opportunity. You know, you took a long rest, you slept in, and, you know, when you awaken in the morning, you hear the sounds of the tribe, you know, people working on stuff. You hear axes cutting wood, you smell food being cooked, you hear children running around and playing. You kind of peek out of your tents and you notice, like, you know, again, you're kind of in the visitors section, kind of on the perimeter of the camp, but you could see out your tent flaps that, you know, the whole tribe is kind of up and doing stuff. You see circles of people who are taking like raw grains and milling them by hand, like just, you know, with stones and mortar and pestle and stuff. And people are cooking, there's like animals being skinned from recent hunts. You see lines of fish that have been caught being cooked, some of them being like smoked over like nice smoky wood-fed fires. And it's just generally very peaceful, very peaceful. And particularly for you, Areia, and you, Bullstrong, it just feels good to be home. And you know, to be able to like look out over this plateau and see, you know, people riding horses across this plateau and kind of going to different places. It just seems peaceful. You know, the sounds of the people, the sounds of nature. You hear like birds, you hear, you know, dogs barking and playing and stuff. So that's what you guys wake to. So is there anything that anybody in particular wants to do?
I think Andria and I wanted to go through all the stuff and detect magic at all and divide it up among everybody.
Okay.
Because
So,
Andria can cast detect magic at will, so.
yeah. So you guys kind of lay out the things that you had, and you're going to have to read back the things that you wanted to explore. And I will identify those things based on his detect magic abilities.
Okay, let's see. 1 second. I wrote it all down. Let's see. Do one of you guys have the list of stuff while I'm looking for it? Just so this doesn't take forever.
I only remember like the specific standout items.
Okay, because I wrote it all down. I'm just trying to find where I put it.
Oh, I think I have it.
The arrow with the elf stuff on it, the daily egg, the wand.
Yeah. So we have there's a chest with a treasure, 6 gems, 50 gold each. Potion of climbing, magical wand, chest with 11 platinum, 72 gold, 321 silver, and 721 copper. 6 gray cloaks, 12 long swords, I think, 6 battle axes, 7 suits of chainmail armor, 4 climbing kits, 1 large egg, and an arrow with ancient elven ruins.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah, partridge in a pear tree.
Okay, so detect magic will identify the things that are magic. Here's what you find. Other than the potion, which you know, whose background noise is being noisy?
Sorry, it's Jordan's sister.
Yeah. Hey, Lauren. Shh. You're ruining my stream. The wand is magical, and you sense it is enchanted, and it has the magic of evocation. You would have to attune to it to find out what it can do, or you'd have to cast an identify spell to identify it.
I don't think I have that.
But you do know that it's magical.
Okay.
Cool. The healing, sorry, what was the potion again, Virginia?
Potion of climbing.
Yeah, I think it was potion of climbing.
Yes, so that obviously is magic. The arrow with the ancient elven runes is not magical.
Oh.
And then what was the other special object?
Dragon egg or scaly egg.
Yeah, there was a large egg.
Scaly egg is magical.
That's going to be awesome.
So, as far as your ability to discover more about the wand, it would require someone to attune to it. Which is going to require some time spent with it today.
Who wants to do that? You? Or I could do it? I feel like you use magic.
Yeah.
So you could try it.
Yeah, I'll divide the loot, or just, the currencies. So
okay, so you have already attuned to the staff that has the little gem in it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I should tell you something about that. As you have attuned to it, you have come to understand that this is a elemental crystal of fire that is in that staff. It gives you some resistance to fire damage, and it also can enhance your any spell or magic that involves fire that you cast.
All right.
So that's what you've learned about that staff that you guys gained earlier. Now the wand, if you want to spend the day attuning to the wand, I can reveal to you what that is, but that would be later in the day after you've spent a significant amount of time attuning to it. So what are the rest of you doing or want to do during this time?
So Areia and Amity are both like going through the stuff.
Yep.
All right. Then I kind of like seeing that she's busy. I kind of want to turn to Bullstrong. So, is this like where you're from?
I mean, that's what I'm being told, but I don't necessarily know any of these people at all.
Are you sure you don't want to like go and try to find, your family or something?
I guess I could. I just don't really know where they are.
No one's come up to you and been like, "Hey, long time no see."
Well, remember that when you guys first came into the valley, you were kind of greeted by a small group of Goliaths who recognized Areia, and you're not sure what their reaction was. Nobody really had a strong insight into that regarding Bullstrong, but they then ushered you over to these perimeter tents where they kind of put visitors or guests.
So
Which by the way, isn't to say that the tents that you were in are somehow inferior. They're like very, like imagine really big, well-built yurts. They have like, wooden frames and skins stretched across them. And there's, there were already like bedrolls and furs inside for your comfort. So it's not like a sense of disrespect, but it's just like a place for outsiders to be able to stay. Now, you haven't really gone, other than last night, you haven't really gone into, where the nexus of the tribal, group of people live.
So I was wondering, do you want to try to find somebody you know and just kind of catch up close? Then we might be able to ask them a little bit about this area as we travel on.
I could, but I want to figure out what this place is like to make sure we can leave if anything goes wrong.
Well, so you guys know that the plateau that you're in, this kind of like soft, gentle valley that you're in right now is a roughly about 5 miles in diameter before it goes back up into different kind of mountainous terrain. And there may be any number of ways to get into or out of this place other than the one way that you guys came in.
So I'm just gonna go and try to kind of check out, sort of like kind of listen to what people are saying, and see like what a friendly group I could kind of sneak into and start like eavesdrop and see, who's kind of chill to hang out with.
Sure. Are you going by yourself to do that?
I could offer to Capella if she wants to come along.
Yeah, because I'm also very kind of intrigued with this Goliath structure, so I wanted to learn more about it. So I'll go.
Can I tag along?
Sure, why not?
It's a party.
Sinjin is actually going to stay back by the tents, kind of by Areia and Amity, and she kind of like sets up a small like throw rug outside of the tent and just gets into like a meditative pose, and it's almost like she kind of begins like doing some meditative exercises. All right, so the three of you guys then kind of walk out and you start kind of walking back into, the clusters of tents, and it's almost like a little, tent village. Everybody's little homestead is there, and people greet you like happily. They nod, they're not like, hey guys, like social and, smiling and inviting you over, but like as you pass by, you feel like you are not unwelcome. Like they acknowledge you, they smile, they nod, and they kind of go back to what they're doing. Bullstrong, you are now going to make an intelligence check.
Oh boy.
Nice.
Hmm.
Straight intelligence check to see if you remember something.
Well, that's gonna be a 2.
Okay, so you guys are walking with Bullstrong. You walk by this like group of this cluster of tents, and Virginia, make a insight check.
Insight. All right. That sucked. That was an 8.
Capella. You notice as you guys pass by that a Goliath woman's like, who was like milling something with like a porter mess, like stands up and like starts like walking behind you guys. Like not like catching up like she's gonna stab you in the back, but just like you guys pass by and just in your peripheral vision, you notice she like stood up and like starts like walking in the same direction as you guys.
So I want to tap Bullstrong on the arm and say, "Oh, hey, do you know her then?"
Do you turn around to look?
Yeah, I can just look her at this lady.
Okay. So what you see is a very strong looking female Goliath who is just a few inches shorter than you. But she has like very ornately braided hair, and like the braids on the side of her hair have been dyed like a vibrant red, and then like the top of her hair that isn't braided is like jet black. And she's got like face paint on that you recognize from a tribal perspective is a hunter mark. Like it's different from the face paint that and the like tattoos that you've seen on Areia, which is that of like a holy person. But this clearly is like the marks of a hunter. And she comes offering Coke Zero. Yeah, she walks over and she's like, "Oh, would you like a Coke Zero?" She walks over to you. Cheers, everybody. Happy Friday. Fantastic. She walks up to you and stops about 5 feet short, and she's just looking at you, like with an intense look.
So I feel like
Capella and Magnus, you notice this, by the way. Like this woman stopped short and is just like staring at Bullstrong, like studying him.
So she seems like she's familiar with me, but I don't necessarily recall this woman.
No.
Just look at them both like.
Capella and Magnus, I'll give you a chance to make an insight check.
Nice.
That's probably gonna be a Magnus.
This is gonna be scary.
We'll see.
I'll get beat
I've
up.
been rolling horribly.
What if it's your ex?
Oh, that's a 19.
My long lost
I got
wife.
a 9, so.
Magnus, this woman seems maybe angry.
Angry?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna look and say, "I'm sorry. Did we do anything to upset you?"
She glances down at you, and then she looks at Capella, and then she looks back at Bullstrong.
What is that supposed to mean?
You can now sense like her eyes are narrowing, and her hands like kind of like drop to her sides, where she's got a pair of axes at her sides, and she's like looking angrily at Bullstrong.
Do you know Bullstrong over here?
Roll initiative.
What?
All three of you roll initiative.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Well,
due
that's
to-
not good. I don't like that.
Due to my level up, I now have feral instinct, so I get advantage on initiative.
Okay.
We're going with that
I have
one.
an unnatural 20.
18.
14.
All right, unnatural 20. You see this woman moving to, she's not grabbing the axes, but she is lunging with her hands at Bullstrong.
Oh,
Like in a grappling type move.
She's going for a grapple.
It's just a hug, you guys.
Yeah, she's just so excited to see you.
What if? Because I also don't want to like start a fight. I want to try to like pull Bullstrong back. I want to try to like intervene.
Okay. You want to pull or push Bullstrong so that she misses, basically.
I think pull.
Okay. I'm going to have you make an athletics check.
That's pretty.
And Bullstrong, you're going to counter that with a check of your own.
okay. All right. Well,
16.
8.
All right, Capella, you grab his arm and yank him, and he kind of like loses his balance and falls out of the way just as she's lunging. And she, in fact, like kind of trips over him and rolls onto the ground and like spins up from the dirt. Like with her hands out, almost in like a wrestling move. And you can see that she's going for the lunge again. Magnus, your turn.
So this is gonna be rough, but so I don't want to like kill her because I don't even know her yet. So like, can I grapple her?
Yeah.
This is gonna be rough, but
Make your strength check.
strength check.
It can be an athletics move.
Athletics? Oh, I'm better with athletics. I can do this. Well, that sucked. That's 14.
You try to kind of trip her up, but she's very swift. For a person of this size, she is also very dexterous. Like you as a dexterous person are kind of in awe at how somebody who is nearly Bullstrong's height and girth could be so swift on her toes, but she moves.
Dang it.
Bullstrong, it's your turn. Make one more intelligence check to see if this confrontation has jogged your memory.
That's a 1. That is a 1.
Beautiful. You have no idea who this woman is or why she's trying to tackle you, but you know that she's not messing around.
So, she's shorter than me. Are her arms short enough to where I can hold
Only
her
by
down?
like 6 inches. She's
Okay.
she's not like Magnus or Capella. She's a Goliath and she's big.
Hmm.
Like she's bigger than Areia.
I don't want to hit a lady, but I'm not sure if it's a lady. I'm thinking of just kind of trying to sort of like grab both her arms and hold her in place.
That's a grapple check. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Is it just strength then, Jim?
Yep.
Strength plus modifier.
9. 12.
She counter grapples you with a 26. Now she has you in a bear hug. She has you in a bear hug and she throws you to the ground.
Ow.
Oh.
You do take a hit point of damage. Oh, I'm sorry, plus her strength is. You take 5 hit points of damage as the wind is knocked out of you. And she's got you in a bear hug and you're on your back in the dirt and she's on top of you holding you like she has you pinned basically. And she looks like inches away from your face. And she's like, you son of a bitch, you bastard. And you can see that her eyes are like damp, like she's about to cry, but she's like holding it back. And she's like, where have you been?
Why does that concern you?
Boom! 27. She headbutts you. for 8 damage. She breaks your nose. Blood's cascading down your. She headbutts you hard in the nose. Your lip is split. Your nose is broken. Blood all in your face.
Oh,
she-
buddy.
This guy yells it in your face. She's like, "Where have you been?"
Honestly, I do not know who you are. Please, that hurts so much.
Okay. When you say this, she doesn't let go of you, but she like looks down at you in confusion, and she kind of like switches her maneuver from a bear hug to like a shoulder pin. So she has her hands on your shoulders and she like pushes up, and she seems really confused. And by the way, you guys that are there, you notice like this interaction. Do you do anything? You intervene? What do you do?
I mean, I would try. I'm gonna try and pull her off of him. That's not gonna work. I know that, but
Okay, make your check.
athletics? Can I do athletics?
Sure.
Awesome. Okay. That's 23.
Wow. Okay, so you catch her off guard because she's like pushed back, and her center of gravity's up, and you kind of just give her a nudge, and she falls over, and now she's on her back in the dirt, like next to Bullstrong.
Oh boy.
For a split second, because then she pops up onto her toes and her hands, almost like a cat, and she's looking at you. And you feel like maybe she's not happy that you are trying to push her off of Bullstrong. Capella, it is your turn. Make another insight check.
Magnus, just let it go.
Insight, man. Should have had Areia here.
That's the
I
thing.
need healing.
That's
Yeah,
kind
I
of the
gotta-
thing about Goliaths, though, is that. Wait, what'd you say?
I have a 15 for insight. I don't know what-
Okay, Jennie, you're pretty sure that if Magnus gets in the way one more time, those axes are going to come off the belt. So this is what she does. She looks at Magnus and she's like, "Step back, little elf boy."
Little elf.
Oh boy, well, that's not nice. So
Ow.
can I just say, like, why are you attacking him?
Because either he's a ghost or he's a lying bastard.
How do you know him?
He stands up and she's looking over you now, Bullstrong. Like she's standing up, towering over you, looking at you on the ground. And she says, "Because he's my husband."
Oh my god, you're married?
I
Oh,
love this woman. I love her so much.
I don't recall this marriage. Ow.
Why doesn't he remember things? Do you know him? Have you traveled with him? Now she's talking to you, Capella.
We've been traveling with him for a while, but he was just brought to us. He was hired by our same person, but he still doesn't remember anything. The only other person, even the other Goliath we travel with, Areia, even she didn't remember where he was from.
The woman's eyes open. She said, "Did you say Areia?"
Yeah, Areia.
Where?
She's out by our tent, the visitor's tent.
You're like, "Ah, ba, ba, ba," and she just turns and starts walking away, like with a swift pace.
We gotta follow her.
Bring her to me.
I'm
Okay,
going to
I like
raise my hand.
sneakily follow her.
You don't think she's married to Areia too, is she?
Go ahead and make a stealth check.
Stealth check. Okay.
I'm gonna raise my hand in pain from the ground in the hopes to get picked up by someone.
17.
You seem to be you seem to be stealthing along just fine because she is not paying attention at all. She seems single-mindedly to be like cutting through things, like to the point where like some little kids are playing and she just like grabs them by the head and like moves them out of the way and then like keeps walking. Meanwhile, Bullstrong, like the taste of your own blood is in your mouth, and you're very confused. This woman still, her appearance does not ring a bell. Like you're racking your brain trying to wrap your head around this assertion that this woman just made, that she's your wife. You try to start thinking to yourself, like, what is this? Like, how is this possible? Like, you don't remember being married. You don't remember anything. And you're still laying in the dirt.
So
But one of the dogs comes over and starts licking the blood off your face.
Thank you, boy. Thank you. I'm still laying on the ground, correct?
I can help you up.
Yeah, I'm gonna very slowly raise my hand in the hopes to get picked up.
All right, Capella grabs your arm and helps you sit up.
Ow.
Your nose is a little bit tender.
I do not recall having a wife. I think I would remember having a wife. That seems kind of important to remember.
You don't remember anything.
That's kind of the problem you see here. I don't understand. So we saw which way they ran, correct?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we should
Heading right back.
Yeah, I'm gonna limp in that direction.
Okay. You can walk fine. Like, she knocked the wind out of you with
My
that
nose is broken. So
with that throwdown. You kind of wipe the blood off, and your nose is tender, your lip is split, but it's nothing that bad. So you're walking at a good pace, you and Capella. Meanwhile, Magnus, she leaves the perimeter of the camp and is heading over toward the visitor tents now. And she picks up her pace, like she turns it into a jog.
And I still follow?
Yep.
Okay.
You see her run up, like you see St. John meditating, and St. John's like in this like peaceful place.
Oh no.
And the Goliath just does like a running like dive, plows into St. John.
Oh, poor
Who's in
St.
the middle of meditation, and then rolls over St. John and rips open the flaps to the tent.
wow.
Areia and Amity, you're like inside, like poring over these items. You're like counting coins.
Yeah, I'm like 646,
Yeah.
647.
You're studying this wand, and you're like, it is magical and some kind of evocation. And you're like meditating upon it and thinking about it. And all of a sudden, the tent flaps tear open, and it's like the sun, the brightness of the sun silhouettes this huge figure. Which, Amity, this is definitely a Goliath, like someone that is the size of Areia, if not bigger. Areia, you see a female hunter. You know the markings on her face. But her face is kind of silhouetted because the sun, the tent flaps, it was kind of dark in your tent. The tent flaps tear open. Her face is kind of silhouetted. You could see her female form, but you can't recognize the face for a few moments. And then your eyes adjust, and you recognize the face. And it's a hunter who you knew. And her name was Varna.
Varna.
And you knew this hunter because you had once had an affair with her husband.
Wait, what? Wait. Clarify. I cheated on... Wait. Did I sleep with him or did I sleep with her?
The dirty secret
Which
that you've
one?
been keeping this whole time.
Which one did I
You've
sleep
wondered why Bullstrong has never acknowledged the secret affair that you had with him long ago when you were both younger.
with? Wait, what?
And yet here we are. That little voice of concern that you had about coming back to the tribe, especially with Bullstrong in tow, knowing that he wasn't quite all there upstairs, that he wasn't remembering things, as you subtly, multiple times in the past few months, as you've traveled and ventured together, you've asked him if he remembers anything, and he's not deceiving you when he says no. And yet in the back of your mind, you've always wondered, what if Varna was still around? What if people recognized Bullstrong? And all of this flashes through your mind as you look up at Varna, who does not look happy.
Wow.
And then you roll initiative.
Okay.
Should I also roll initiative?
Yes, because
Okay.
you're about 20 feet back sneaking up.
Under my character backstory, should I add cheating bastard who breaks up marriages?
It's more complicated than that.
All right. I had a 14.
Aria home wrecker.
Natural 20, 22.
Ooh.
11.
What is this? Amity wins initiative?
Yeah.
For once.
This is a momentous occasion. Amity, you see what you are very sure is an impending attack from a female Goliath on Areia. You anticipate this almost magically, as if you know that something is about to happen, and it is your move.
I'm going to do Eldritch Blast.
Nice.
No.
Wife.
Amity, no.
My wife.
That's 22 for the first one.
That's a hit. Roll damage.
And then, oh,
We're all here just like trying to solve things with our hands, and Amity's like, I'm just gonna kill her.
He unloads with the shotgun.
D8 or D10?
D10.
D10, okay.
I
So,
was looking for the lower one.
4,
Rip my wife.
I hope you enjoyed your 2 minutes
and then
of having a wife.
Borat voice, my wife.
Alright.
My wife. She likes
21 for the next hit.
Yep.
And then damage again.
Mhm.
5.
Okay. Up next, Varna tackles you, Areia.
Okay.
Resisted strength check.
Okay. Let's see.
I'm assuming a 23 is enough to hit you, so now it's just a matter of resisting her grapple.
Sure. That's a not natural 20.
You resist.
Let's go.
So she tackles you, doing no damage, trying to hold you, and you kind of like wedge your way free so you can still act.
Okay.
What was your initiative? 14?
Yeah.
All right, you're up next, and then Magnus.
Okay. So she doesn't have her weapons out, right? No. Okay.
She
And
just-
am I being held by her currently, or am I like just
you are
staying?
not grappled.
Okay.
You are free to move and act.
Okay. Then I one hand reaches out and I put it on Amity's chest and I shove him backwards just enough to like get the hint to like stop throwing shit at her.
Okay.
And then I'll move back and I'll grapple her by the shoulders
Okay,
and I will just say, Varna.
make your check.
Okay. Ooh, that's a good. Am I trying to hit her or is it just a strength check?
Yeah, so the initial, we'll say it's a melee attack.
Okay. Just with my hands.
Mhm.
Do I add anything?
Yeah, you can
My
add your
strength bonus?
strength.
Okay,
Yeah,
not natural
an
20.
athletics roll
Okay.
because you're trying
Athletics.
to.
If it's athletics, then it's a 23.
Okay, you successfully managed to make the move. What's your strength check? Because she's resisting and she has a 21.
Okay. Nope, that's a 15.
Okay, Magnus, you're up. 2 female Goliaths are wrestling in a tent, and a red-skinned tiefling just landed a few feet away while holding a wand. This is what you see. Oh, I'm sorry. And Sinjin is like turning around with a look of utter confusion and disorientation.
And I keep saying the name Varna to try to get her to calm down.
Okay, I was gonna ask, is Sinjin okay?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm gonna.
completely disoriented because basically she was in a deep meditative state, which was interrupted.
Cool. Okay, so I'm gonna run in and tackle Varna.
Magnus, no.
Let's try it. Go ahead and make that roll.
Little elf boy.
Little
He's
elf
gonna-
boy doesn't know how to let two Goliaths handle their business.
Well, you know, like she's attacking you and you're my friend. That's how it'd be, man.
Attacking me. We're just wrestling with each other.
Well, that's not great. That's 15.
Nope. She doesn't.
Yeah, I figured.
Amity, you're up.
Hmm.
Now, the two Goliaths seem to be not drawing weapons.
Mhm.
They are wrestling currently. Magnus, you saw Magnus try to like grab the one Goliath's leg and like flip her, but that failed.
I'm stuck here.
Marie Listopad says, sell tickets.
Summon mud spell?
Dude.
Mud wrestling Goliath.
How awful would it be if there's a very specific 4th level spell that I could cast right now, but I feel like that wouldn't be great.
What?
Okay. So what's it going to be, Amity? You have 10 seconds to decide.
I'm gonna do entropic ward on myself for my selfish reasons.
Okay.
Should I describe it? Or
Yeah.
okay. So it's I magically ward myself against attack and to turn an enemy's failed strike into good luck for myself. When a creature makes an attack roll against you, you can use your reaction to impose disadvantage on that roll.
Okay. Superb.
And then if it misses you, then the next attack roll against the creature has advantage if you make it before the end of your next turn.
But if the attack's not on you, it doesn't impact it. It doesn't have an impact. So
Mhm.
when she goes to grapple Areia and she rolls that, she coils you up like full, like neck lock, arm, shoulder lock, and she's got her legs wrapped around your torso and your legs, and she basically puts you into a full body hold. And she yells at you, and she's like, "Have you been with him all this time?"
Yes.
Okay. Now, it is your turn. You have an option. You can try to break the grapple or just take the headbutt to your face. That's
I would just take the headbutt because I already know what's coming and why, so I just
Boom.
let her do it.
8 damage.
Okay.
Splits your lip, your nose is bleeding, your eye socket hurts. And she's just squeezing you so hard, and she's crying while she's like trying to choke you out.
Oh.
She's like, "Why doesn't he remember me?" And she's just like, tears are falling like all over you, mixed in with blood.
All right, Varna, just let me go and I will explain everything to you. Please.
She basically just, she lets go, but she just crumbles onto you. Like,
Oh, I just wrap her in my arms.
she's like just bawling.
All right.
bawling.
Varna, I'm so sorry. I didn't even think that you were here. Listen, this is a very weird situation. I don't really understand it myself. You have to believe me when I say I wasn't with him this whole time. I was off on my own, and then he just stumbled upon me again. Except this time he doesn't remember a single thing. I've spent the time that we've been together with this group trying to get him to remember, but something happened to him and now he just can't remember it. He doesn't remember me, he doesn't remember you.
She, as you're speaking this, like these soothing words, she kind of like sits up, and she's still like crying and stuff, but she's listening to you. She seems to have calm down like significantly. And you're explaining all this. Smash cut. Bullstrong and Capella. You are about 50 yards away from the guest tents where you see like something going on. Like you see like Magnus pop out of the tent and like you see St. John outside like looking confused. And then like there's some scuffling and then like the tent flaps kind of like stay still. So you're about like 50 yards away when you see all this.
So yeah, I'm thinking that we're just gonna sprint over there.
Okay. You run over. As you guys get like within like 10 feet, St. John is like, it may be wise to wait outside. She like says that and like looks at you, Bullstrong.
I'm gonna take her advice.
When I looked at her like, well, what's going on? Why will you be just now?
I believe I hear Areia soothing this other female.
Do you know why is she so mad? What did Areia do?
I am not sure I know the story. I will defer.
And I just want to like carefully poke my head into the tent flaps.
Okay, you do. Inside the tent, you see Areia basically like cradling the other Goliath woman and like talking to her and like gently like holding her. You see Magnus kind of like with a sort of bewildered look as if somebody just like revealed the secrets of the universe to him. You see Amity like carefully holding a wand, but also like having a finger on the ready, like uncertain about what to do next. Oh, and you see the whole pile of treasure, which had been neatly counted out and organized, has been knocked over, and there's just coins, everything like all over the floor of the tent. It looks like they're, oh, I'm sorry. And most importantly, you see Areia also has a badly bloodied face. But everything seems to be calm.
I just want to kind of calmly walk in, like, is everything okay? What's wrong?
Areia, you see Capella.
Mm-hmm. Everything is fine. We're just working something out right now. If you wouldn't mind just giving us a moment.
That's no problem. Do you know what I should do with someone?
I'll look at Varna and ask. Would you like to speak to him?
She's like, I'm not ready yet, but I would stay here and speak with you more. Without them. She looks to Magnus and Amity and everyone else.
Okay. I motion my head nicely for everyone to get the f out.
Yeah, Amity, I'm just gonna like grab you by the hand and start leaving.
I resist.
Amity, stop making everything so hard.
No! Do you actually?
A little bit.
Okay. So after everybody kind of leaves the tent, she seems much more at ease. And she's like wiping the tears off and just her like war paint's all smeared and she's like, did he even know anything? Did he remember anything?
Not that I know of. He didn't know where he came from. I tried to ask him about his past, the fact that we knew each other, and he seemed...
You noticed when you say that, her eyes like squint up a little bit.
He doesn't remember anything.
He didn't remember that? He didn't remember you two at all?
No. And I didn't feel like telling him.
She nods.
Which is my fault, but...
She nods quietly.
I am still very sorry. You know that, right?
I do. I forgave both of you. But I thought he was dead. I searched the Verge and the Vast. I went down into the Midlands.
I thought that he was dead too, honestly, until I walked into a tavern and he was sitting there. But unfortunately, getting answers has been almost impossible.
What could he have been doing for the last 2 years? Where
I
could he?
don't. I honestly don't know. I don't know if there's any way to get his memories back, but that's kind of my goal. Because I have as many questions as you do.
I'd be like sneakily eavesdropping outside the tent.
Yeah, you guys are all like, and like you can basically hear, even though they're not like speaking loudly, you can hear the discussion, kind of the tone, and you pick up the gist of it.
Okay.
Meanwhile, you know what, Bullstrong? I'm going to give you one more intelligence check.
Okay.
You can do it.
You can do
I
it.
got it.
Just to see if any of this new information jogs any memories.
11.
Okay. So a funny thing about, as all this has happened, with an 11, it doesn't, you don't have like a flash of like recall. You don't like remember specific things. But you do have this like moment of familiarity where you felt like happy and safe and warm. And there was a smell associated. It was like it's like a memory of a smell. And it was the smell of like her hair, like your face in her hair, like that specific smell. But then it like, there's no context attached to the memory. So inside the tent, after many more minutes of talking, Varna asks if you think that perhaps one of the shaman could seek out Bullstrong's spirit and help him remember.
I think it's worth a try. I was thinking about using my own abilities to try and help him remember, but we've been kind of busy, so I never got the chance to actually sit down with him and try.
She nods and she's like, I'm not ready to see him or talk to him. But I would have you try what it is that you seek to do. And if he has an awakening, come find me in the camp.
I will. And if I can't, where are the shamans?
They should be returning today.
Okay.
We recently went to the Oracle on the high peak to seek out favor for the coming winter.
I understand. I will try everything to the best of my abilities to help him. And I will come find you.
She nods and then stands up. She goes towards the tent flap, but then looks back at you one more time and nods. And then she goes out the tent. So those of you outside, you're kind of like standing around the sides of the tent, like not right in front of the flap, I'm assuming. So she opens the flap, and whoever's there, if you're right in front of the flap, she just walks right by you, like body bump and all, as if you don't exist. And you notice particularly that her head does not turn in any way towards wherever Bullstrong is standing. Like, it's not like she turns and looks at him or anything. She just walks straight out like no one is there. And at a swift pace, not running, but just at a swift pace, walks back towards the camp.
Yeah. And I follow, not after her, but when she leaves, I get up and go out of the tent too. And
So, a moment later, Areia.
Okay.
Speak.
The first thing that I do is I cast Healing Word on myself.
Okay.
To fix my broken nose. Which is, 6 points of healing. Okay. And
All
then,
right.
and then I'll look around and I'll see that his nose is all beat up too. And
Yes.
I will smile a little bit, but then I'll cast Healing Word on him too.
Okay.
Which is 7 points of healing to you.
Okay.
And I will just stand there quietly looking at everybody.
So, I know this is really none of my beeswax, but could I get a little bit of an explanation here?
Well, that woman that you met was Bullstrong's wife, Varna, who I did not know was here, but that would explain things. And Bullstrong has forgotten all of his memories, which is what I've been trying to speak to you about the past time that we've been traveling together. So
I'm gonna pull you off to the side a little bit. I'm gonna be like, hey. So I know what you just said. I'm pretty sure that's true. But I also know that's not the whole truth.
okay,
and
just
just because you're my friend, maybe I can help you with stuff, and also you're a member of our party, and I want to make sure there's no secrets or anything. I think that's important.
okay. She just shakes her head a little bit and she says, well, that is a story for a different day, perhaps one of my youthful recklessness, but I don't think it'll do us any good right now.
I mean, but
we will have this conversation later, I promise. And
okay.
I will explain to you, but it's nothing that will immediately help our situation.
Okay. Well, if there's anything I can do to help, I got you.
Well, that's what I needed to talk to you guys about. I'm trying to figure out a way to restore his memories. And I was wondering if you all would be able to help me. If there's anything that you can do. I might have some spells that I can try. But if not, then the shamans should be returning today. And we would need to go to them and see if they can help.
Yeah, anything I can do. I don't know what I can do, but I mean, I don't think I have.
The other two. Will you help me?
Well, however we can help. I mean, I don't really have any kind of, magic sort of, But if you need anything, I would love to help fix him.
Amity?
I would love to get rid of the junk, but I guess we could do this.
Okay. And then I look at Bullstrong.
I guess. I just don't know if I want to remember this woman. She kind of hurt a lot.
She only hurt you so much because she loves you. And she's very pissed at you.
Okay.
Okay.
How sweet.
Do I have anything that might work? I mean, I have to look through my stuff and see if I have anything.
Capella, as all of you are kind of standing outside of the tent, you feel your forearm getting warm, and your tattoo begins to glow. And you hear a message in your mind. It's a message from Trixie. And this is what it says. Where are you, and have you heard from Lord Finup? We have not heard from him in weeks.
So my reply is gonna be we are in the southeast mountain range. Haven't heard from Finup either, but got Waterstone.
Okay, a few moments pass. Areia, as you are thinking about different divine music or other kind of methods that you could use to help restore Bullstrong's memories, your forearm and tattoo begin to glow and get. You receive a message, and it's from Willie.
Oh, okay.
I'm with Trixie. We are in Parmia. Have not heard from Finup. Looking for the Earthstone.
Okay. I will send back. Neither have we found the Waterstone. Let us know about the Earthstone.
Okay.
Okay. Capella, I just got a message from Willie. Apparently they're in Parmia, and they haven't heard from Finup in a while.
Yeah, I just got a message from Trixie. And she just mentioned they hadn't heard from Finup.
Well, they just told me that they're in Parmia looking for the Earthstone.
That's good.
So, yeah. Okay, so I turn back to Bullstrong, and I will attempt. I don't know if this will work because I doubt it, but I will try to cast Lesser Restoration on him and see if any of his memory, like if it'll help anything, even though I don't think it will.
That is a potentially good idea. Do you like do this? Do you want to do this like in the tent or just out in the open? And also,
we'll go.
We're doing it as a ritual. Is it a ritual spell?
I don't think it's a ritual. But I will do it in the tent.
One disease.
Yeah. See,
condition afflicting it. The condition can be blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned. Disease.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like.
Do lesser restoration. And Bullstrong, you feel like a warmth of health overtake you, but you do not sense anything different in your ability to recall your past.
No, nothing.
Shoot.
I'm gonna say, Areia, while you're doing this, make a perception check.
Perception? That's an 18.
So you notice something that you hadn't noticed before. There's like something kind of wedged into Bullstrong's hairline, like on his skull, kind of like behind his ear. And it's like the smallest ever, but something's sticking out.
Okay.
Going for a closer look.
Yeah, I just grab both sides of his head and I turn it and I say, wait, don't move.
Make a medicine check.
Let's go. Medicine. Okay. That's another 18.
As you're probing at this, you like pull the hair away, you like bend his ear back and you're like looking. Whatever this is, first of all, is something made of metal. And it's also in his head. Like you could see where like scar tissue has grown around it. But like this is something that's in his skull. Like you're not sure if it's like the tip of a dart or some other piece of metal, but this thing is in his skull, number one. And like it looks like it's been there a while.
Okay. And would it look like something that I could try to pull out, or would it be like too detrimental to his health?
You feel like you could try. However, you also feel like if you failed, it could be bad for his health and or cause brain damage.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll call everybody else into the tent. And I will say, guys, I think I've found the source of what's doing this to him. And I will show everyone the little thing in his head.
How have you never noticed that, Bullstrong?
Ow.
I'll smack his hand away. It's whatever's like made you lose all your memories. I'm gonna assume is whatever this thing is that's jammed into your head, but I could try to pull it out, but I feel like if I messed up, it would be very, very hurtful. So I think that we should talk to the shamans when they return and see if we can figure out a way to safely get this out of his head.
Yeah, I would not pull it out. That's straight up brain surgery. Like, we would need to, at the very least, we would need to research more about the brain and what it could do. And if not, then just talk to someone else.
You do have a sense. Yeah, I mean, you do have a sense that Areia knows that there are, like amongst the shaman, there are people much more skilled in medicine who may be able to assist.
Yeah, so I think that's our best bet, is to just wait for the shamans to come back and then see what we can do. But we've found what appears to be the source, so that's good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So that'll like fix him?
I don't know, it might, or it at least will stop causing more pain to his skull.
I mean, that's one problem down.
Ow.
So you guys kind of resolve that you're going to wait until the shaman get back, which Varna didn't give you a specific time frame. She just said they should be back soon because now what she did reference, Areia, you and you alone of this group would know that it's a pretty common practice for like towards the end of a season for the holy people of a tribe to seek counsel and guidance on where to go for the next season to do their camp. So this is not an uncommon thing for them to have gone up to the oracle to seek that counsel. But whether or not they're coming back this day or next week, you aren't sure. So with that, you guys kind of resolved to wait. And that is the perfect stopping point for this session of D&D with high school students. Off camera, you guys can go ahead and roll your hit points for your 7th level, update all your attributes and statistics and all that kind of stuff. And for those of you who joined us on this most epic of episodes, thank you for being patient, for sticking with us, and for all of your support. And we will see you next week on the Medusas. Peace out.
Snarf som jag måste slå